There's something unique about SMEs and the SME culture in this country. The enterprise, the capitalistic attitude of Kenyans dictates that growth is fueled through the small communities, small teams getting together. We call them chamas. We call them various names, but meaning the one and same thing. And if Vision Capital will focus on that, it will go a long way to boosting their laws, their needs for capital, because it's going to be huge. We in the capital market will also do our role, and we are indeed in collaboration with our colleagues on the stock exchange, with the other regulators, in establishing a window on the stock exchange where the SMEs can also come to raise funds supported by people like yourselves, and also offer opportunities for investors in those SMEs to exit as and when you want to exit. We are working with the government to accelerate the privatization process in this country, divestiture program. It's a huge source of business for the stock market. I see my colleagues here who have been crying because we are going through that the depression point on the stock market because of lack of business. But in a few months' time, if all goes well, we will have a flood of business coming from that quota, the government quota. They have lined up very premium companies for divestiture of government interests. And that will create huge amount of business for people like yourselves and supporting some of those other players on the stock market. The county governments, where we will be in a position to migrate professionals, not politicians, professionals, like those who are in this room, to take charge of development of those counties, will be a major source of business. I can personally foresee a situation where capable professionals working within those counties will be able to come up with investment and development agencies or organizations that will come to the capital market to issue bonds for infrastructure, for health, for the various activities within the counties. That, Mr. Chairman and my fellow Kenyans, could be a huge, huge business, not only for the capital market, but for all the other interested parties that would like to see the counties developing. The whole idea of what we refer to demutualization, Mr. Chairman, hinges on ensuring that we separate the ownership of the players on the stock exchange from the actual operations and giving some kind of independence to the players, instituting good governance, making sure that even if we are going to allow self-regulatory regime to creep in, because at the end of the day, people should be in a position to regulate themselves. We must also, alongside that, make sure that at least they do that and the events of the last few years do not recur. Because even unlike equities and stocks, commodities are very, very sensitive products. You mess up with them, and the whole country will get into the streets, like you experienced in London the other day, quite unexpectedly, Mr. Chairman. that could happen if we messed up with commodities and futures. I'm mentioning this because as we look at our own requirement for that particular area, we also have to look at regional. We have to look at the people who will be driving that process to make sure that we have people who can be relied on. We have people with credible background, professionalism, and they can stand the test